You're listening to OpenAir 102.3 FM. I'm Aaron Loki Johnson, joined in the CPR Performance Studio with Denver's own Oko Tygra. It's a newer project from Joshua Novak, and I'm very pleased to have you guys here. Hello, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
So who have we got here today? Joshua, it's nice to see you in the studio.
Thank you. It's a lovely studio, I might add.
Glad to have you here. Go ahead and tell us your names and what you play.
I am Russ, and I am on the guitar.
I'm Jeremiah, or Jerry, and I play bass.
And I'm Neil, and I play drums.
Well, I'm very excited to have you guys in the studio. I know you have a 7-inch you're going to be releasing in May, and I'm excited to hear that. But before you launch into your first song, I've wondered about this. Can you tell me about the name of the band, Oko Tygra? What does that mean?
It means Eye of the Tiger in Czech. It was a phrase that a friend of mine whom I worked with had spoken to me years and years ago. And I remember storing it away in my brain thinking that I loved it. It was so visual. And I wanted to use it for something and then completely forgot about it.
Is that a common Czech expression, or is that just something that's translated from the song?
It's just something that was translated from the song, I think. She meant it kind of as like a, like let's get through the day kind of thing. And
Rah.
Yeah. And I don't know. So, it's aside from, it has no real personal meaning other than the fact that I just think it sounds, and when the time came to name the project, it was like a lightning bolt, and it was what it was supposed to be. So
excellent. Well, it's kind of a go get it title. So why don't we go get it with that first song? Now, is this going to be on the 7-inch that you're starting out with today?
This is, yeah.
Okay. So this is Oko Tygra in the CPR Performance Studio on OpenAir 102.3 FM, playing the song Plasticine. Music from Oko Tygra in the CPR Performance Studio on OpenAir 102.3 FM. This is a Denver band put together by Joshua Novak, and they're here with me today. It's a relatively new band, formed in, am I correct in saying March of 2014?
Yeah, it's actually been about a year now, so.
Just about a year. Wow,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. A lot of big things have happened for you. But before I talk about Oko Tygra, I'd be remiss in my duties if I didn't say that Joshua Novak, you have a long and prestigious history in the Denver music community. I'd say for at least 10 years you've been playing music as Joshua Novak. You've won top 20 in the Denver Post. You've had 6 Westward Showcase nominations. You've played Red Rocks at the Monolith Festival. What made you decide to stop being Joshua Novak and form this band Oko Tygra?
As great as all of those things are, there really was a big sense of a plateau that happened for me. And I think I was spending a lot of energy trying to get people to pay attention to what I was doing instead of taking that energy and kind of putting it into doing something new. And, I say this all the time, but it's really true that I know people start side projects all the time. But, because of that past, it was really hard for me to think about breaking away from that and starting something completely new. So I think, slowly over the course of several months, I decided to jump in, and it sounds stupid, but it really was how it started, and it couldn't have been it was the best decision I've ever made, so.
Yeah, well, I've heard in other interviews you've talked about kind of almost that curse of the singer-songwriter, like, oh, are you going to be a guy with an acoustic guitar singing some songs? But this is so layered and so textured, and it's just a sonic soundscape, and it's probably fair and safe to say that you, in this project, are influenced by dream pop, shoegaze, the Cocteau Twins come to mind, Slow Dive, maybe Red House Painters. Are these some influences, and is that a conscious choice on this project?
Absolutely. There is nothing about this that wasn't completely intentional. Breaking away from that, I knew that, if I do it, it's going to be this. And so, it's kind of my love letter, I guess, to the Cocteau Twins and Slow Dive and that, but definitely kind of bringing, I guess, my experience as a songwriter and then wanting to collaborate with other people into a whole new thing. And I think that they kind of create something, influenced by that, but different. So
Sure, you're updating 1984 for today.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to be working out well for you. You just got back from playing at South by Southwest. You were the only Denver band to play in October at the CMJ Festival in New York City. So people are taking note. How was the response at South by Southwest, and how was the drive? Weren't you there yesterday?
It's true. We literally left Tuesday morning, drove, played on Wednesday, and then came back yesterday. But that's how it goes. But it was good.
Next question. So how did this band come together? How did you find the other musicians?
It's kind of, everything from Craigslist stranger to, good friends that I've worked with, so.
I see Russ on guitar over here is pointing himself as the Craigslist stranger. Actually,
That would be me, yes.
I have a question about that. So I don't know if this is a true story, but I've always heard that the Pixies found Kim through an ad that said, we're looking for a bass player who's into Peter, Paul, and Mary and Husker Du. She thought that was cute. What did the ad say that grabbed your attention? Because obviously you guys seem simpatico with your guitar styles and your textures and tones.
I always think of that story because, typically when you put a Craigslist ad out, you get the typical responses. And I think I got only 10, and Russ was the only one of those 10. And even if he answers the ad correctly, it doesn't mean that, it's going to work out, but it just kind of worked out. So he's kind of the Kim Deal of the band for sure.
What did you see in that ad, and what did you answer with?
That
Russ?
was me. So he did mention Stone Roses and Cocteau Twins and Slow Dive as well. And those are all bands that I pull a lot of influence from. Stone Roses because they have kind of a jangly, kind of indie pop sound, which I really like. But Cocteau Twins, Robin Guthrie, which I did name drop to make sure I got the job. I had to make sure I knew what I was talking about instead of I just knew these bands and I'm trying to join your band to, rock and roll. I was trying to be really specific, make sure I knew exactly what I was talking about to get him to notice me. I think we also mentioned Kate Bush as well.
Yeah, Kate Bush for sure.
Really
Yeah.
cool. And then Jeremiah, you're a more recent addition. Originally you played with Tyler, who played on your Ephemera record, and you've played within other projects.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
Playing with Tyler, obviously in different incarnations of what I've done, and he was kind of the first person I asked about doing Oko Tygra. but he had to move to Chicago, I think, back in November. And so we had a big New Year's Eve show that we had booked already. So we were kind of panicking. And, of course, you want to get somebody quick for that, but you also want to look for somebody that's going to be kind of an investment and, you know, with it long term. So, you know, in doing that, again, I didn't want to go the Craigslist route or anything. So Neil and I were talking, and he's like, well, you know, my friend Jeremiah, he's come to our shows. He's showing interest, and we met with him at Sputnik, kind of laid the business on him. And
Okay, and that's Jeremiah Mora. And were you into this type of music when you joined up with the band?
I have no idea what they're talking about. I just met these guys in the parking lot. No, it was I told Neil that I really, really loved their new stuff because I'd seen a show back maybe September. And then, you know, just as Josh just said, I guess I kind of was in the back of his mind there as somebody who was already feeling the flow, you know, so to speak. And I was, you know, excited to come on for the one show and enamored when they thought they'd make me part of the family.
Excellent. Well, I want to make sure that we hear from Neil, if you have anything to add about how you came into this project.
Yeah, basically, I've actually known of Josh as a musician for years, going to see his singer-songwriter project for a long time, and he's been by far my probably most favorite artist out of Denver for the last decade. So about a year and a half ago, I saw him playing without a band, and I basically told him that, you know, if you need a drummer, really thinking more stuff for his solo stuff, let me know. And then a few months after that, he came back with a new project, and it was actually, in a lot of ways, even though I'm a big fan of what he has done as a solo artist, this was kind of more of my world, you know, reminiscent and stuff. And then Jeremiah's actually been a good friend of mine for years too, and he's also been in a lot of projects I've admired. So when we needed to get another bassist, it was kind of cool that, you know, a year later I'm now getting to play with two friends and two people I've wanted to play with for a long time.
Well, I'm astounded at how your sound has coalesced in such a short time and the response you're getting. Let's go ahead and hear a couple of songs. Why don't you play two back to back? What's the first one you're going to play for us right now?
this next one is called Helium Drum.
Okay, this is Oko Tygra in the CPR Performance Studio on OpenAir 102.3 FM.
I get to be
That's a song, Glass Jaw, from Oko Tygra on OpenAir 102.3 FM. The band is in the CPR Performance Studio with me right now. Some Denver dream pop for you. You use the term dream pop to describe the genre. Would you also say you're safe with the term shoegaze?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I've always wondered, and now that I have some shoegaze artists in the studio, does that term come from the idea of morose and despondent musicians being too shy to look at the audience, or is it because you're all busy looking at your feet with all the pedals?
I think it's kind of a little bit of both, and maybe over time, that looking at the pedals was translated by people in the crowd and journalists as gazing at shoes, so...
Fair enough. Well, you certainly put on a show. I got an opportunity to see you live at the High Dive, and you have some showmanship that goes above and beyond shoegazing, but I do see a lot of pedals, and I hear a lot of textures as well.
Yeah.
So that song, Glass Jaw, would you consider that the single from your 7-inch that's coming out?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that process. You've got two songs, Plasticine and Glass Jaw, coming out on a 7-inch. You recorded it with Wilson Helmerich of Snake Rattle Rattle Snake.
Yes.
How did that come together? What was the process like?
We had a group of 9 songs that we had recorded the bass and drums for, and we were trying to really nail down 2 or 3 that we wanted to kind of focus on as a 7-inch, and those 2 ended up making the cut. Glass Jaw was one of the first songs I had written for this project before it started, and Plasticine was something that we kind of organically wrote together as a band in rehearsals, and we kind of thought it was the perfect kind of. They both kind of perfectly described our sound, kind of across the board about everything that we do. So I liked what Wilson obviously had done with Snake Rattle, and kind of felt, as far as having another pair of ears on it, that he would be best suited to kind of help mine out that lush thing that we were going for. So I think he did a great job. I mean,
He did do a great job.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of bands doing that thick atmospheric textural stuff that you guys are doing, and then Snake Rattle Snake would be the other one that comes to mind.
for sure.
You also have a video for this. What was the process? I saw the video. It's got a doll in there. It's very dreamy and ethereal. There's not really footage of people playing instruments except maybe a little bit of a keyboard.
Yeah.
How did that idea come about, and who did that animation or that production?
I'll let those
That
guys
would
describe it.
Yeah, that is me. So I know that we had to get a video released for some exclusive content, and I knew Photoshop and Illustrator, and I do graphic design, but that's it. I've never touched any video production stuff, and so I just kind of, for the whole week, I just pretty much started working on things, and I was looking up stock footage of like glass hands, glass jaw, things that are really fragile, and I just came across this vintage video of this woman. Her name is Snow Bunny, and she just has all these videos where they're all high quality, really good videos, and then she just takes pretty much her hands, and I wanted to do something with hands. No idea why. It kind of just seems kind of mysterious to me, but yeah, so I saw that video. I just thought it would have been perfect, and then I took that footage, and then I just kind of started playing with it for a week's time, and then that's what came out.
Okay, so it's almost a found footage film with manipulation over the top of it. Did you credit Snow Bunny or
Yes,
ask
I
for
did.
permission?
Yes, I sure did.
Excellent. Well, I'm very glad to hear that. I wanted to talk a little bit about the idea and the lyrics of Glass Jaw. It seems about things that are vulnerable or easily broken. You were recently broken. You had a pretty serious injury, Joshua. Do you want to talk a little bit about the process? What happened with you had a head trauma? Is this something you're comfortable talking about? And did that influence the band at all? And does that tie in at all with this idea of a glass jaw?
For sure. I think, when wanting to go forward with something, everybody has experienced that hesitation or that fear of doing it. And, I mean, having something as life-changing as that, and it really was.
What happened?
I tried to, it was my birthday, I attempted to climb into my second-story window via a ladder I found in somebody's backyard, and of course I had a few drinks at that point, so I wasn't in my best frame of mind, and I know people that have fallen from foot ladders and died, so there's no reason why I feel like I shouldn't have had something more horrible happen. So coming out of that, feeling incredibly grateful and kind of realizing that things kind of just can't go on the way that they had been going on. So it definitely was a catalyst to move forward with stuff. So
you had a traumatic brain injury. How serious was your recovery time? Because I hear the stories. You were with the UMS with a bandaged head last year.
Yeah, I mean, one of the first things I remember thinking coming out of the accident was, okay, I'm alive, and I have to play UMS. They always say that, having an accident like that, it's good for people to have goals to look forward to, because it kind of helps that process of healing a little bit. So I think having that to look forward to, and that was kind of supposed to be our big, public debut. So I showed up like a day out of the ICU with a neck brace on and rocked the UMS. So.
And you certainly did, and things have just been going forward since then.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear one more song from you, but before we do that, where can people see this video for Glassjaw?
It is definitely on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's on our website, and the site that featured it is called iHeartComics.com. And I think you can kind of find a little interview and video there as well. So.
And you'll be releasing that 7-inch at the High Dive in May.
Yes.
But where else can folks go to hear your music? Do you have a website that you like to draw people to?
We have our stuff kind of available, for streaming on SoundCloud. You can definitely get it on iTunes if you desire, but the 7-inch is going to be gorgeous, so we're hoping that people want to pick up a physical copy at some point.
Of course, always. That's the whole reason for doing vinyl these days. People like to have their hands on it. It's very cool that you guys are doing that. Yeah. Well, let's hear one more. This is Oko Tygra on OpenAir 102.3 FM in the CPR Performance Studio, and they're going to play Mano. Did I say that right?
Mano. Close enough.
Mano from Oko Tygra.
you alone to fight on your own once again. I left you alone at night, left you alone to fight on your own once again. These are my hands and they know not what they do. These are my hands and I'll place them over you. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Left you alone at night, left you alone to fight on your own once again. I left you alone at night, left you alone to fight on your own once again. These are my hands, and I'll place them over your body. Yeah, these are my hands over your body. Yeah, these are my hands over your body. Yeah, these are my hands over your body. Yeah, these are my hands. Oh yeah, these are my hands. Oh yeah. I'm better than you. I'm better than two. I'm better than three. I'm better than four. I'm better than five. I'm better than six. I'm better than seven. I'm better than eight. These are my hands and I place them over your body. Yeah, these are my hands over your body. Yeah, these are my hands over your I'm better than you.
That's Oko Tygra in the CPR Performance Studio on OpenAir 102.3 FM. You can pick up their new 7-inch, which has the songs Plasticine and Glass Jaw. Thank you so much for coming in, Joshua Novak, Neil Robertson, Russ Alt, and Jeremiah Mora. Really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.